Okay, we're gonna just do a little exam on here. We're gonna just kind of check them out, see how they're doing, see if I need to start feeding them. Make sure we don't have a queen on here. I do use smoke. I use as little as possible, but I do use it. I am not by any stretch of the imagination an expert beekeeper. This is my second year. I've already lost a hive that swarmed on me. And so I'm kind of starting over again. But you know what? I enjoy it. I'm learning. And I would say to people out there, if you're thinking about getting into it, do a lot of studying, do a lot of research. YouTube is great, but it's not the end all. Find some beekeepers to talk to. That's one of the things that I have not been able to really do. I found a couple, but I haven't really found a lot. And that's one of the things that kind of doesn't help me much. But some of the things I have found, this hanger, I love this hanger. I didn't buy one for the first year, and I was always, oh well, I can just make one or this or that. You know what, they don't cost that much. If you've got the money, go ahead. Now see, this is my beetle trap. There's not a lot in there, so to me that's kind of encouraging. Tells me that maybe we're not dealing with a lot of beetles. Makes sense, right? So let's take, I can see there's not much on these end frames. Tells me I don't need to do a split anytime soon. Looks like they haven't even started drawing out on this. Now the way I do it, in trying to keep my frames in order, is I'll pull off the first two. And again, nothing on that. And I'll put them on this frame hanger. And now I'll just take them out, look at them, and scoot them over. What I'm looking for is honey and brood. The brood I'm looking for, if I find the brood, I don't really have to put my eyes on the queen. I'm also looking for small hive beetles and the such. See, now we're getting into the middle. These frames are starting to get heavy. Yeah, see, the first three on the outside didn't have a lot, but these are heavy. I don't know if I'm going to be harvesting honey this year or not, because this is their first year and it kind of got started late. See, I'll scoot that over a little bit, but it looks like they're really getting after it. Y'all tell me what you think in the comments. And hey, while we're talking about it, do me a favor. You look, we got some good brood and honey there. That's awesome. Uh-oh, look like we might have some queen cells coming up. So I need to try to find the queen so I know if she's there or not. Well, that might just be propolis. Oh, there she is right there. There she is. You see with the blue dot. So we're good. We don't need these queen cells. So we're going to make them go away. Looks like just one on that side. I'm paranoid about hanging the queen over the ground. So I try to do all this stuff up here. One of the things I forgot to do today that I wanted to do, get me a little small coffee can or something, or I could take and put the propolis and the wax stuff in that can when I'm out here dealing with it. Now I eventually do want to grow my hives and increase my numbers. I would like to get up to, right now I'm thinking 10. And one of the things I found is, you know, leasing, though it's good, a lot of times the beekeepers, especially the bigger ones, they don't really, around here, they more or less, they want money instead of change, you know, in exchange or bartering. I would like to barter knowledge and maybe a little bit of honey, but mostly knowledge. But because of people doing it for tax write-offs, there's a market for that. And I don't blame them for wanting to get some money. So don't misunderstand me. I don't blame them a bit. If the money's there and there's people willing to pay, and you're not, I mean, it's not like they're being crooked, then it would make less sense for them not to do it. I mean, beekeeping, I'm gonna tell y'all, it is not free, it is not cheap. You don't have to have a lot of money, but when you figure to start off, you're either gonna have to go and buy yourself some bees, and you're gonna put in over $100 there, sometimes more than that. These last two frames, there's just not a whole lot going on. Because some of these were already drawn out. So we're going to push everything back. And these bees are really calm. I bought these bees from another beekeeper who needed to reduce his number of hives. These are really calm. Now this other hive, it's a little different story. Now you've noticed I hadn't had to use hardly any smoke. I haven't had to really mess with them. Now one of the things I do, and I'd love to hear y'all's comments, is I use frame feeders. And right now, I'm not feeding. One of the things I was looking at today, if I needed to start feeding. Put that back in there. And we're going to look at the bottom one. And this is usually where they start getting upset. We're going to look at the bottom one real briefly. Like I said, I'm not looking to upset them. That's like the last thing I want to do. But we'll just take a quick look, see what we got. Like we got nothing on the end there. But see how they're just calm? I'm not wanting to rock that boat. So I say they got plenty of room. We've got brood, we know the queen is there. There's no need for us to keep this hive open any longer. So we're going to take and just set the box back on there while they're still calm. Now it's about 9 o'clock in the morning. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. So they're not real busy yet. Now this other hive that I have here, it is a blend of some more of those hives from the same person and a cutout that I did. And I ended up having to blend the two, which seems to have worked pretty well. But we're going to find out here in just a minute. This will be the second time I've opened this hive since I did the blend, and all I did is I took the feral hive and I put a, you know, they say use newspaper, and that's great if you have it. But what I had was feed sack from my other animals. And so what I did is I took and put, feed sacks come in 3 layers. Well, y'all just hear them talking, can't you? Feed sacks come in 3 layers. So I took those 3 layers, separated them. I just put a layer on top of it between the 2 boxes. I had a single box of feral and a single box of kept bees. I said, these bees are working. Set that right there. And these are a little more flighty. Let me go grab me some more hay real quick. Now Miss R7 just bought me this ventilated suit. It's the first time I've used it, but I've read about it, and I had a bee jacket, one of the heavy cotton ones, and then I had a couple of suits that I bought from somebody who was selling out full suits. One of them was a full cotton, and then one of them was a nylon, like a real thin, almost like parachute pants type material. Y'all from the 80s know what I'm talking about. And that one was a little bit cooler than the cotton, but it's still hot. Now I'm in almost, not quite, but almost southeast Texas. And we have high humidity, and we have high temperatures this time of year. And try not to sweat in there because water doesn't agree with them. Not much on that one here. We got some brood here. I'm really surprised that the queen was up in the top in that last hive. Maybe she'll be in the top here too. Now these two, as far as I could tell with me being a rookie, we got some brood here. That's a good thing. Kind of spotty. The 2 hives that I bought both came with marked queens. Now I was having a hard time finding the queen in the feral or the other one. So what I did is I put them together because the cutout was out of a wall, and I know I didn't get everything. Looks like we got maybe a queen cell growing there. But I knew I had brood in there. I had brood in both of them. And I figured, you know what? These bees have been around a lot longer than I have. They will figure it out. Now here's one of the cutout cones. You can see they haven't quite grown it up yet. Look at that. That's pretty neat right there. They haven't quite filled it out, but I put this cone in there with rubber bands. Well, they ate the rubber bands apart. So now they're just working on building it up and giving them that chance. Because bees are amazing. I don't think we give them near as much credit as they deserve. Looks like this one's going to come apart on me. No, we're not going to pull it out though. See if maybe we can encourage this thing to stay straight. I tried making some of those frames, and I'll show you on this one, with putting the strings on there. I used some fishing line, and it didn't work that well. You can see on this one, this is one of the few survivors, but they're not really going on both sides. They just grow up one side. I don't know what I did wrong. I'm sure it was something. But bees are amazing creatures. You know, I don't think we give them near as much credit as they deserve. Because if you think about it, we give them these nice, beautiful Langstroth hives, $100 hives, or we build them for them. I've got a couple top bar hives over there that are abandoned. I've never really gotten anything to take in them. I put a feral in there out of the woods one time. See, now they're starting to get a little testy. They're starting to say, hey, you've been here long enough. And again, this is the feral, and this is the feral and domestic combined. We're going to separate these. And again, y'all leave me some comments, okay? We're going to wrap this up pretty quick. Because there's hardly any honey in this one. At least in the top box anyway. So let's see what we see in the bottom. Ooh, look at all that activity down there. Look at all that. Of course, they're waking up now. They're saying, hey, there's a whole lot too much light out here. What's going on? I know we don't have a whole lot in there either. That's got cooking oil in it, which has worked pretty well for me in the past, so maybe we just don't have a real big beetle problem. One of the things that I have done versus what I've done in the past is, y'all get down there, is I'm keeping this dirt around here and not letting plants grow up. And I use I use vinegar and water to kill the plants. And seems to work pretty good. I mowed everything down first. I know I should have put that on the hanger, but I didn't. We're gonna close these bad boys up. We got brood, that's what I'm looking for. We got brood, so I don't need to see the queen. See how they're gathering right there? I'm gonna look here in the middle, pull one of these center frames out. See what we see. I'm a firm believer that, you know what, we need to look after our bees, but ouch, that one hurt. Yep, they're getting mad. They're stinging me. And you know what, I experimented with this glove and found out it was a bad choice, because they are lighting me up right now with this glove. So we're going to close them up. Remember I told you they were starting to get a little active. not being happy. So we're gonna smoke ourselves up here. We can get the pheromones off, and then we're gonna walk away. Let them settle down.